What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with Tech Daily. So I gotta be honest, it's been a while since I've been really excited about a smartphone, but like a phoenix rising from the ashes, the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 has arrived, and I'm very excited to check this thing out. I unfortunately never got a chance to use last year's Note 7, so it's been a while since I've had any sort of experience with a Note device. And while I have had plenty of hands-on time with the S8 and S8 Plus over the last few months, I'm particularly interested to see what this device has to offer that makes the Note line still stand above Samsung's other devices, aside from its $900 price point. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see what the Note 8 is all about. If you've unboxed an S8 or S8 Plus, this is pretty much the same feel here. Sliding off the sleeve and flipping open the cover, we're first greeted by the Note 8 itself. The one I have here is in the midnight black color, but they also come in orchid gray, maple gold, and deep sea blue, with some color options only being available in certain configurations and countries. Digging a little deeper inside the box, you also get some documentation and a couple guides to get you started if you have questions. And as far as the accessories, you of course get the standard Samsung adaptive fast charging wall plug. You also get two different USB adapters, a micro USB to USB Type-C, and a USB-A to USB-C. And these little guys can help accommodate any leftover cables you might have, since the Note 8 is of course a USB-C device. But you do also get a standard USB-C cable as well. Since the Note does come with that stylus, you get a pair of tweezers and some extra pen tips to swap out if needed. And finally, you do get the AKG tuned earbuds that we saw with the S8 that I actually did a dedicated video on, which I'll leave a link on screen if you want to see a review on them. So with all that stuff out of the way, we can peel off the plastic film and get this device totally naked and power it on for the first time. And right off the bat, I think my first impression of this device is that it does feel very familiar. Although a little bit bigger in the hand of course, but familiar nonetheless, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. But if you own an S8 or S8 Plus already, I don't think you'll immediately feel like this device in particular is drastically different. It isn't, and that's not really the intention, I don't think either. One of the first noticeable differences though is its size, like I mentioned. The Note 8 rocks a big and tall 6.3-inch Super AMOLED display with a 2960 by 1440 resolution at about 521 pixels per inch. The super thin bezels and gentle curves along the edge don't make the phone feel that big though. The phone in total is only 6.4 inches tall and not even 3 inches wide, so it's still super manageable. Now, one important thing here that you might not realize at first, similar to the S8, the Note 8 ships at a lower resolution, so when you first get the device, you'll be set at full HD, 2220 by 1080, to basically save battery life. If you want the full QHD experience, you'll have to make sure you change to that option in the settings. The 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio means that you'll have a little bit of screen left over with black bars when viewing 16 by 9 content, but you do have the option to stretch into full screen if you want to. Either way you look at content though, the display on this device is gorgeous with deep blacks and vibrant colors. And you also now have the option to view HDR content on these newer Samsung devices too, from services like YouTube and Netflix, which is pretty cool. Like I mentioned earlier, although the 6.3-inch phone sounds rather large, it's fairly manageable, at least for me, and I wouldn't say I have particularly large hands. However, I won't spend too much time complaining about this because I know people are tired of hearing it, but the rear fingerprint sensor is just a bit more inconvenient than the S8 Plus was for me, and honestly makes it so that I'm just more or less obligated to use the iris scanner or facial recognition to unlock the device. I think we're almost at a point now where the fingerprint sensor is kind of just non-essential, and the Note 8 makes that even more apparent, at least until we see it integrated under the front glass and screen. Now, one of the primary reasons for choosing the Note device over anything else obviously is the S Pen. I'm going to have a separate video outlining all the different things you can do with the S Pen, so look out for that. But essentially the S Pen and the software that goes along with it creates another unique way to interact with your device. You can use it as a simple stylus if you're into that, but you can quickly write out notes or draw pictures, add animations to things, more precisely edit text and other on-screen objects, among other things. And while not everyone may find the S Pen particularly useful, I think some people may find that a stylus is a great tool for a device this large. The specs on the Note 8 are another major selling point for this device that differentiates it a bit from the S8. You get either a Snapdragon 835 or Exynos 8895 processor, depending on where the device is purchased, an Adreno 540 or Mali G71 MP20 GPU, 6GB of RAM, 64, 128, or 256GB of storage in certain countries, and up to 256GB of expandable storage via microSD. The 3300 mAh battery is a bit smaller than maybe what we had hoped, but I'm not going to comment on that at this point until I can get some long-term use out of it. And the Note 8 is also IP68 water and dust resistant. All in all, a top spec flagship device that really only requires a couple things to be said. It's fast, it's snappy, it can handle any kind of intense games or apps or heavy multitasking you put up there. No matter what you do with this phone, it'll be able to handle it all and then some. The specs don't really get any better than this right now. The other standout feature for the Note 8 is Samsung's first attempt at a dual rear camera setup. Around back, you get dual 12 megapixel shooters, one standard 26mm f1.7, and a wide-angle 52mm f2.4, both with optical image stabilization. This setup allows for some new features like live focus, which lets you get some DSLR-like depth of field to your shots, as well as 2x optical zoom. These kinds of features aren't anything we haven't seen before, but it's new to Samsung specifically, so I'm excited to really put these cameras to the test, and I've already seen some great shots taken on this device. All in all, the Note 8 looks to be a really solid device. I'm glad Samsung didn't completely kill off this line last year. Even though this iteration doesn't have anything that really wowed us, I think there's enough fanfare behind this device that it'll be a success either way. Is the price tag a bit much? Well, yeah, I mean, no one needs to pay over $900 for a phone. But like Samsung always does, I'm sure the price will drop a few $100 in the coming months anyway. If you guys have any questions or want to see anything specific video-wise with this device, let me know in the comments below. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick look. Be sure to follow Tech Daily on Twitter and subscribe to the Tech Daily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.